we kind of have to start getting ready for this harvest that's coming, and get mentally and spiritually prepared. And most of you seem to be adequately ready. You know, it's really, you know, it's really, it's time. The church is not going to be the church as we kind of pictured it. It's going to become a threshing floor. It's going to become a barn again. It's going to become that place where the recesses of society begin to wash in. We are on the cusp of that. We are on the cusp of another revolution. And I believe that there's enough people that are godly in position right now that we're not going to see another Germany or another, you know, other Russia or the Cold War. That's where they were trying to steer us.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes.
The shadow government, this
Yes.
regimes.
Yes.
We can point some of the faces out that were the puppets and the faces of this movement. But up until weeks before the election and Trump was elected, you saw videos of generals threatening Russia. You know, since the first time since World War II, the UN has moved in tanks on the borders of Russia. Right now, what are they thinking? UN is operating outside of any counsel from our president and our current leadership. The UN, for the first time in history, vetoed Israel. Ever since the UN has existed, America was always the voice of reason that said, no, leave their borders alone, since the Six-Day War. For the first time in history, weeks before the election, they were trying to seal the deal. They were trying to sink the ship before we got the ship.
Yes, yes.
They did. They were blowing the ship up before we got it.
Right.
And they literally vetoed for the first time and said, no, the United Nations, we're going to give back these borders and change it and make it into what it used to be pre-Six-Day War. Oh my God. And I love Trump's tweet. If you want to know Trump's heart, just read this one tweet, no matter what your political bent is. Trump tweets this on his famous tweet. He says, don't worry, Israel, 2 more weeks. 2 more weeks, buddy. Hang in there. Moments later, the barometer of God's heart's always Israel.
Yes.
I'm not saying they're always right,
Yes.
Right.
but it's the barometer of God.
That's
Within
right.
moments after his what do you call it? Inauguration. Netanyahu, there he was on his personal video.
That's right.
Saying, thank you, we welcome you, Trump. Guess who was just in our country the last few days? Netanyahu. We've only had 2 times in American history that a foreigner has come to our Congress and Senate and made an appeal that was not of an American or some of our, you know, association. Twice in this is the parallels, twice in history. World War II, Winston Churchill. He came and appealed to the Congress and Senate in those hollowed halls, and he made this appeal. America, you've got to engage. You can't stand indifferent, or you will be living in a Europe that is Nazi.
Yeah.
Your greatest allies will no longer be here. And for the second time in history, just a year or 2 ago, a year and a half ago, Netanyahu came against the president's wishes, of course.
Yeah.
They vetoed him and said, no, he's going to come. And he came and appealed to us again. You have to engage. Don't ignore these world affairs. He wasn't calling us to war, he was simply calling us to be mindful of these things, take action, be on the right side. So we are walking in the shadows of history, man.
Yes.
Berkeley's burning again, riots in the streets. I mean, just unbelievable. And what follows that? What follows that earthquake in 1904? It's revival's coming. It's the groanings of the earth. It's the tremors. It's the tremblings.
Thank you, Lord.
It's the calm before the storm. And God is. So we need to in unison, and we got to akin to that. We've got to, as the church, be mindful, conscious of these things, brace ourselves for it, start praying more fervently, intently, be more purposeful in these things, get the house ready. You know, I love that part about the donkey. Go loose the what do you call it? A kid colt. Thank you guys. This is helping. I take you everywhere I go. The colt of a donkey. And and he says, what are you doing? And they said, well, tell the guy we're ready now. The guy already had the room ready. See, we got to get the room ready for revival.
Yes.
We got to be conscious of the future. Be like Jesus said, read the signs. We can tell weather patterns, but can't tell the signs of the times, he said to his people. We got to begin to read the signs of the times and say, oh my God, folks, whoa, if I'm seeing clearly, we are on the verge of another spiritual revolution.
Thank you, Lord.
Revival is imminent.
Yes.
There's going to be a great awakening again. The conscience of whole cities are going to be stirred overnight. No explanation, no provocation, no evangelist, just bam. There's going to be a sudden consciousness of God, and then by the multitudes are going to begin to seek after the Lord. And God forbid they don't find a place to come,
Yes.
or where to inquire,
right.
or where to tune into.
Yes.
And then what's going to consequently, inevitably happen after that is suddenly, almost overnight, or in a span of a week from Sunday to Sunday, you're going to come into church, folks, and it's going to be filled. You're going to walk up and see this place before you, and it's going to be filled, nowhere for you to park. At first you might feel a little kind of disgruntled. Wait a minute, Pastor, where are we going to park?
For a while.
Because they're coming, they're going to come, and there'll be no explanation for it. Who in the world, all these people, black families and different groups, what in the world? You'll be, where am I going to sit? Just sit on the floor.
Amen.
No, they'll make room for the elderly. Just sit. God will make room. And oh boy, it's inevitable, folks. Because the only answer is the church, and we have the only answer. And what's happened through history, though, is the church, in certain circumstances, failed to give that answer and miscarried a move of God.
Yes.
Jerusalem's a perfect example. When he looked over the city, thank God, apparently one of his disciples was nearby to record that moment. And Jesus wept over Jerusalem. He said, "Oh, Jerusalem, Jerusalem, this was meant for your peace. This was not, you were not meant to be destroyed." Isn't that amazing? That blows my mind. 70 years later, Babylon wasn't supposed to invade. This was your visitation. But you missed it.
Yes.
So now, destruction comes. So there's two roads to go. And it all hinges upon the church.
Yes.
And our crying out to God,
Yes.
our steering the ship, being the rudder of the great ship, steering the ship, praying for leaders, praying without prejudice. We should really, that should be a new slogan. Tuesday, praying without prejudice. No pride and prejudice. Praying without prejudice. We don't have any political opinion. The great captain of the host of heaven on the plains of Jericho in the Bible, the book of Joshua, when Joshua approached him and said, "Wow, great warrior, whose side are you on?" "Hopefully it's mine." He goes, "Neither, I'm on the side of the Lord."
That's right.
Wow.
Amen.
So this is amazing. So we're going to dress for it, Some morning you might get up and just put on your Cleveland Indians t-shirt. Wait till the day comes when Pastor shows up in his Cleveland Indian. You say, "What in the world? Is he okay, Lord?"
I've done that before.
I know it sounds trivial and kind of funny, but I see it happening because we are going to, not that really matters, don't get me wrong, it's symbolic too, but we're getting ready for the world coming in. And we're going to be ready, mind, body, and soul, for what God's going to do. So, you guys all like my cup?
Yes.
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 Love the cup. Can I ask you to read this?
Absolutely. Oh, look at this. Be like others to reach others. 1 Corinthians 9:19, "For though I am free from all, I have made myself a servant to all, that I might win more of them. To the Jews I become a Jew, in order to win Jews. To a Cleveland Indian fan, I'm a Cleveland Indian fan. I might win Cleveland Indian fans.
You want me, bro?
To those outside the law, I become as one outside the law." Not being outside the law of God,
Right.
but under the law of Christ, that I might win those outside the law. To the weak, I become weak. See, that's where our dress codes are going to become more lax, is because we're letting them know. One of the biggest arguments when you go out to evangelize is people will literally tell you, "I don't have the right clothes."
Yeah.
There are probably multitudes who feel awkward and out of place
Yeah.
to come to church. We've got to show them we've got to set a different standard. Just occasionally and say, "Man, just one broadcast, you know what I mean?" And he's wearing his Cleveland Indians shirt. I mean, and I know he'd do it anyways. I'm not even saying this church is perfectly suited for this, but this is maybe for the tape. But we've got to set a different standard so these people will come, that by any means we may win them.
Amen.
And that's where Hudson Taylor, the great missionary to China in the 1800s, and David Livingstone to Africa,
Yeah.
the great missionary. I'm reading his book right now, and I am just riveted. I mean, that guy, all he wanted to do is go